in the heart of the great savannah, under the vast African sky, lived a little lion cub named Leo. Unlike his brothers and sisters, who were big and boisterous, Leo was small and a bit shy. He had a fluffy mane that was more like a soft halo around his head, and his roar was more of a squeak than a thunderous sound. Every day, the other cubs would practice their pouncing and roaring. They'd leap from behind rocks and let out mighty growls that echoed across the plains. Leo would try to, but his pounces were clumsy, and his squeak would often turn into a cough, making the other cubs giggle. "You're not a lion, Leo," his brother Rory would tease. "You're a little mouse." Leo would just lower his head, his tiny mane drooping with sadness. He wished he could be as brave and strong as them. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, Leo sat by the waterhole, watching his reflection. He saw a small, scared cub looking back at him. His mother, the wise queen of the pride, came and sat beside him. Her presence was always warm and comforting. "What troubles you, my little one?" she asked, her voice as soft as the evening breeze. "I'm not brave, Mama," Leo whispered, a tear rolling down his furry cheek. "I'm not like the other lions. My roar is tiny, and my pounce is weak. Rory says I'm just a mouse." His mother nuzzled him gently. "Leo," she said, "bravery isn't about the loudness of your roar or the strength of your pounce. True bravery comes from the heart. It's about standing up for what's right, even when you're afraid." She looked into his eyes. "You have the heart of a lion, Leo, and one day everyone will see it." Leo wasn't so sure, but his mother's words planted a small seed of hope in his heart. The next day, a great commotion woke the entire pride. A young gazelle calf had slipped and fallen into a muddy pit near the river, and its mother was crying out in distress. The adult lions gathered, but the pit was narrow and deep, surrounded by slippery mud. None of the large lions could get down there without making it worse. The cubs watched from a safe distance. "Someone has to help," said a lioness. Rory and the other big cubs puffed out their chests. "We're strong. We can do it," they declared. They tried to get close, but the mud was too slick, and they just slid around, making a mess. They were strong, but their size was a disadvantage here. They soon gave up, shaking their muddy paws in frustration. The poor gazelle calf was bleating weakly, sinking deeper into the mud. Its mother's cries were heartbreaking. Leo's heart pounded in his chest. He was scared. The mud looked dangerous, and he was just a small, clumsy cub. He remembered his mother's words. Bravery is about standing up for what's right, even when you're afraid. He looked at the terrified calf, and something inside him shifted. He couldn't just stand by and do nothing. Taking a deep breath, Leo stepped forward. "I'll try," he said, his voice small but steady. Rory laughed. You'll just get stuck too, little mouse." But Leo ignored him. He carefully approached the edge of the pit. He was small and light, which meant he didn't sink into the mud as easily as the bigger cubs. He slowly and carefully slid down the slippery bank, his little claws digging into the earth for grip. He reached the bottom, landing softly beside the frightened gazelle. "It's okay," Leo said in a gentle voice, trying to calm the calf. "I'm here to help." The gazelle looked at him with big, trusting eyes. Leo knew he couldn't pull the calf out by himself. He was not strong enough. He needed to think. He looked around and saw a thick, strong vine hanging from an old tree nearby. An idea sparked in his mind. "Wait here," he told the calf. He scrambled back up the slippery slope, which was harder than getting down. He slipped and slid, but he didn't give up. Finally, with a great effort, he pulled himself back onto solid ground, covered in mud, but determined. "The vine," he shouted to the adult lions. "We can use the vine." The older lions looked at each other, impressed by the cub's quick thinking. Following Leo's lead, two of the strongest lions grabbed the end of the vine with their teeth and held it tight. Leo then took the other end in his mouth and carefully slid back down into the pit. He nudged the gazelle calf, showing it how to get its legs around the vine. The calf was weak, but it understood. "Hold on tight," Leo urged. Then he let out the biggest, loudest sound he could muster. It wasn't a mighty roar, but a clear, sharp call. "Pull." The lions on top heard his signal and began to pull together. Slowly, steadily, they hoisted the gazelle calf out of the mud. Its mother rushed to its side, licking it clean and showering it with affection. The entire savannah seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. All eyes turned to Leo. He was covered in mud from head to toe, and he was exhausted, but he was standing tall. The other cubs looked at him, no longer with amusement, but with awe. Rory walked up to him, his head lowered. "I'm sorry, Leo," he said. You were really brave." Leo's mother came and wrapped him in a warm, proud hug. "You see, my son," she purred, "I told you." True bravery comes from the heart. As the sun began to set again, Leo looked at his reflection in the waterhole. He still saw a small lion, but this time he also saw a hero. He finally understood. It didn't matter how big he was or how loud he could roar. What mattered was the courage inside him. From that day on, no one ever called Leo a mouse again. He was Leo the Brave, the little lion with the biggest heart in all of the savannah. He still played with his brothers and sisters, and his roar was still a bit of a squeak. But now, when he spoke, everyone listened. He had proven that even the smallest creature can make the biggest difference. And so Leo's story became a legend, told to cubs for generations to come. A reminder that bravery isn't about size or strength, but about kindness, courage, and the willingness to help others, no matter how scared you feel. Thank you for watching our story today. If you enjoyed Leo's adventure, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more wonderful tales. See you next time.